Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Bochum 2016, where we're now ready to get our game on in round 2 of the largest European tournament of all time. We did some more late enrollments actually. We had 1,603 at the start of the day. Then a few more guys showed up and said that they had registered and so on and so on. And with all the numbers are in and everything, we're looking at 1,615 players.
That's
the
massive.
official number. I wish it was 1616 because that's
Goodness
easier to
gravy.
remember.
Yeah,
But 1615 is not too bad, of course.
yeah.
Well,
And
joining me now,
200 over the last
it
biggest?
was 1,480 or something, so it's
Yeah.
like 150
Huge.
almost.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, it is absolutely a
10%
big,
extra.
big difference. Right, guys, we're also setting another record for this round because the table that we picked is definitely going to be the highest table number that we've ever picked for a feature match. It's table 786. The reason for that is that Patrick Graness sent in his deck prior to the tournament.
Yeah.
That's something we should actually talk about, guys. You can do that.
Yeah, there is actually a deck submission on the website that you can, just tell us your deck, what you're going to be playing, whether you're going to be here or not. That's an important one because we want to actually talk to you and look at the decks that you're building. And generally, we get some quite interesting ones in there.
Yeah, there's always a few interesting ones. I mean, I picked out at least like 3 or 4 that were really, really interesting. We
Yeah.
didn't manage to find any of them yesterday to any pre-recorded stuff, but
Yeah,
this is
so that's a good idea. If you send in a really cool deck, also show up on Friday so we can
Yeah.
maybe interview you on Friday.
yeah,
There was, there was one of these guys who sent in the best request, obviously, who said, I really want to be on the camera, I just can't tell you my deck yet. So at first we thought like, it's very interesting because we went through a process reading this deck submission, so to speak. So at first you're like, okay, he might not have gotten it, how it works, because we really need his deck to work this out. And then in his extra comments he says, yeah, I really want to be on the feature match because it's really, really going to be cool and it's my biggest dream and I want to be interviewed after the feature match by Oliver Gurman. So I'm
No.
like smiling and everything. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I want to feature him now, even though I don't know his deck. Then I'm proud and happy and everything because normally we only get abuse. And I know, that's the way it is. And then my wife learns about this and she's like looking over my shoulder from the back and she's like, what? He just said his biggest dream is being interviewed by you? He's not reaching very far from his
Now,
dreams.
sorry to interrupt you there, Oliver, but it looks like our game's actually started without us. Can we please
Okay.
go to the table?
Let's just move to the table for a round 2 feature match, guys.
Now, Patrick Graness is actually playing a Destiny Hero build with Silent Swordsman. Silent Swordsman level 7 in there, which is all the way back from 2004, Rise of Destiny.
yeah.
Yeah, we double checked the date actually.
Yeah.
Like, was it really 2004?
Okay, so Patrick there having a really big field to start off with. He's got his Silent Swordsman out. Silent Swordsman coming out in Duelist Pack Rise of the Pharaoh, I believe.
Yes, yeah, Duelist Pack Rise of the Pharaohs. So, just to catch you guys up, so we saw Patrick Graness here. He played Drill Dark into a Destiny Hero Celestial. Then he tributed Celestial for the Silent Swordsman. That's the new one from Duelist Pack Rise of the Pharaoh. He then overlaid another monster, I can't remember which one, into Utopia, and then Utopia upgraded into S39.
Okay, so Jan's hand there.
Yep, so a little bit more conventional Metalfoes deck. So yeah, Silent Swordsman is going to cause some real issues here. I was actually playing against Matthew Bell. Some of you may remember Matthew, and he absolutely loves the Silent Swordsman archetype.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that sounds like Matt all over.
Yeah, and the key part about this is that if he destroys that Silent Swordsman, he's allowed to go and special summon any of the Silent Swordsmans from level 3 all the way up to level 7 just for free from his deck. So he can special summon Silent Swordsman level 7, which just says you can't play spell cards at all.
Which is kind of ridiculous in a format that's dominated by pendulum cards.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's the better Jinzo at the moment.
yeah,
Pretty
It's
much,
one way to put it.
especially in this matchup.
Or better spell canceller if you
Yeah.
wanna
So
put it that way.
Metalfoes Fusion is being set there.
Yeah. So I don't think he's used.
And there's the Vanity's
Yeah.
Emptiness.
Big lockdown here. Big lockdown. And that actually. So
Talk about a 1-2 punch.
yeah. I'm negating all your spell cards. Oh, and by the way.
Right. So how do you come back here? I mean, we said big lockdown. How do you come back?
So what does Jan actually have in his hand here? He's got Painful Decision. That's not gonna. Actually, none of these cards here are gonna help him against that emptiness. He's just gonna pass his turn after using all of his Metalfoes monsters. And yeah, okay, he's gonna thin his deck a little more with Painful Decision too.
Okay, so Patrick has no cards in hand there. Is there anything that he'll... Well, and there's now this big back row that
I mean, some would say he doesn't need any cards in hand with Vanity's Emptiness and the Silent Swordsman on the field,
Yep.
but...
So Silent Swordsman actually gains attack points. I think it's the amount of cards you have in your hand. Let me double check exactly what it is.
looks like he drew into another Silent Swordsman.
Adding insult to injury. Here we go. It gains
And it's just once
during the standby phase.
Yeah, in the standby phase. So it's going to have 1,000 more at this point. So it'll be on 2,000. So actually, that's just 7,000 damage.
Just.
Yeah.
It's just 7,000 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. It's only 7,000 damage.
Yeah, it's no problem. So, yeah, so it's now on 2,500 because there's been 3 standby phases.
Yep.
I'm unsure as to where Jan can go here. Does he actually have anything to out this? I don't think he does.
You mean on the entire deck list, not in his hand, of course.
Yeah,
just
just
to clarify
I
for
think-
the people who are not seeing that you're
Yeah. Sorry.
anxiously looking at the deck list.
Yeah, I think his out here is Archfiend Eccentric.
Uh-huh. Metalfoes combination.
Yeah, so he's going to flip that up and then be able to use the Gold Driver to destroy it and go get double search.
Which card is more crucial right now? Is it the Silent Swordsman or is it the Vanity's Emptiness?
The Emptiness.
The Emptiness,
Definitely.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. It's like Raphael said earlier today, you just pick your deck and decide what you're losing to. But he was saying it's either Chinso or Anti-Spell Fragrance. He didn't mention Vanity's Emptiness, which is still a card, obviously.
Yeah.
As people try and repress the memory of it.
Yeah,
Because
do you
there's only
remember when you
one.
could play 3? That was...
No, I don't.
that
That's
was
the whole point.
horrifying.
That was fun, right?
Oh, it was horrifying. Oh.
But you wonder, this card was out for years before it actually became popular. People were like, well, you get a 2-for-1 if you destroy one of your opponent's cards.
Yep. It's still correct.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
But then we became kind of a huge kind of special summoning format kind of came out of
Yeah.
it, and that's why I believe it was Dragon. Was it Dragon?
Yeah, it
Rulers?
was Dragon Rulers.
Dragon Rulers, where everybody was like, we need to stop these dragons.
And there's a handshake for the first game.
That's weird. Yeah, that's all, I just to bring that up. That's weird when that
weird.
happens.
Yeah.
It's fair and sportsmanlike when that happens, just to clarify.
Yeah. No, it definitely is, but it's like, why are you shaking my hand? And then I actually sometimes that's happened to me in the past, and then I'm like, wait, is this game 3? Like you kind of question, did I lose already?
Maybe you're doing it to throw your opponent off guard.
Yeah, it's a perfect mind game tactic.
Well, Jan there, if you actually look, he looks very, very happy to have lost. And I don't know whether that's just because he saw a Silent Swordsman and went, oh, Silent Swordsman, that's different.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's really happy because it's like, yeah, I can beat this in games 2 and 3.
So what has he got in his side deck that would make him think that?
I definitely think that stuff like Ghost Ogre potentially might be helpful. Strike, Warning, again, all of that package is probably going to go in. Yeah, I mean...
There's options.
Yeah, he's playing the full 3 copies of Eccentric Archfiend, so generally I think he would rely on that. But I think the thing that caught him off there was that that Patrick was able to just put so much damage on the board, like straight away, and lock him down. Generally when you produce some kind of lock, it's a bit of a weak kind of aftermath. If they manage to break that lock, then there's no other locks. Whereas that was very much, you open the door and there's a big scary Utopia lightning waiting for you behind the door that you just unlocked. So
Yeah, unwelcome visitor.
yeah, exactly. And even if you'd have broke even if you'd have kind of
This is not the party service I called for.
yeah.
Where's the pizza guy?
Yeah, I mean, the only kind of good thing, I guess, that Jan would have done if it had been Eccentric, he'd have been able to destroy the Silent Swordsman, and then that would have stopped his effect going off as well because of Emptiness still being live at that point. So
Right.
Although
Just something that was pointed out, the Silent Swordsman gains attack during the standby phase, not your standby phase.
Yeah, oh, it's both. Yeah.
which is why you were mentioning that there had been another standby phase, which is why it was down
sorry.
2,500. Now,
I think I didn't catch that.
something that we haven't
jumps
really
up really fast.
mentioned about this Destiny Hero deck is it's actually Awesome Heroes. Because he basically is running Awesome Heroes inside this Destiny Hero Silent Swordsman combo that he's got going on.
Yeah.
So he also has that option as well to be able to kind of start
Yeah.
ruining days.
Yeah, exactly.
He's never gonna side into a different kind of archetype or gigantically change the strategy of his deck. His side deck is pretty straightforward in the way that it only helps him improve his chances against certain decks, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's very much a regular side deck.
In that way,
What's his perfect choice against this?
For the side deck?
Yeah.
Probably, Twin Twisters, Typhoons. Typhoons are great against decks like this because you can play them straight from your hand in turn 1. Gamma Seal has got a potential there. Depends on if he's playing Ultimaya. We didn't see any Gofus that last game. I'm just having a look right now to see if I see any.
We can actually see that those two guys
Gofus?
are having a really, really good time at the table.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't see any Gofus, but the deck list is in German, so Ollie might be able to tell us a little bit more if there's a Gofu on this one. That's kind of if there's Gofus, then
You want to know the
Gamma Seal.
translation of Gofu?
Yeah.
Is it Gofu?
Blackwing Gofu.
There we go.
Oh, I just couldn't find it.
And actually, it says the Hazy Shadow.
Oh, so he wrote it in English.
Yeah, he did.
That's what it was. The German was just confusing me.
But it is, yeah. The most confusing thing about deck lists these days is that every country seems to have a different way of writing numbers.
Oh,
So
yes.
the Germans, their ones look a little like a flag, I would say, like an arrow pointing upwards.
Yeah.
Is what the British said, which is of course them taking the piss because that's not correct. Whereas the English one is just a lowercase L. It's just a straight line,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a pipe.
Yes.
And then some people in some countries are more likely to write 9s with a hook at the bottom, and then sometimes the 9s end up looking like 4s, and it's really
Yeah.
confusing.
I know we write straight 9s in UK.
Yeah, like earlier when I was typing up the deck lists, I actually had to look for the country of the player to make sense of the numbers, which is really weird.
Yeah. So just to take you a quick run through of all of the different Destiny heroes that he's playing. So he's playing 3 of the new Destiny heroes from the Duelist pack. From Destiny Soldiers, not Duelist pack. What am I talking about? So Celestial, Drill Dark, and Destiny Hero Decider as well. So Drill Dark is a little one of our Marauding Captain theme-based cards. So when you summon Drill Dark, you can special summon another Destiny Hero monster. Or I think it might just be Hero. I'm not sure about that. Celestial is a really great draw engine card. Because it allows you to banish it and another Destiny hero to be able to go and draw 2 cards, which is
So it's
really
basically Destiny draw in a card.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Destiny draw in a Destiny hero.
We just
Yeah.
had an interview in between rounds, and Giovanni was talking about his combos to draw cards, and then he was saying, yeah, like Allure with any monster is a combo, and I was like, okay, that's stretching it. Like, saying Destiny Hero together with a Destiny Draw together with Destiny Hero is a combo, that's not the definition of combo in my book, at least.
I had one that was even further stretched while I was walking around between the rounds. We had a guy playing
What did you
just a
say?
friendly game.
The Dark Hole combo to wipe the board?
No, he opened Garnet in his opening hand, and he only had 1 Garnet, and then he made Minerva and milled Brilliant Fusion. That's a combo, because Garnet is
Obviously.
dead in your hand, so milling
Ah.
Brilliant Fusion, that's a combo.
That's a combo, okay.
It reminds me of a phrase that we used to use, that every card is situational, even Pot of Greed is, because it requires you to have 2 cards in your deck.
Yeah, that's...
We like to call them nombos.
We're getting
Yep.
a bit... yeah, we're getting a bit philosophical there. So here we have the opening of Jan Marvin Fate with just Alcahest.
Alcahest out there.
And
It's not just Alcahest as well, because it's a fantastic card.
Yeah, Alcatraz is really good. Right, so another really, really great card that came in Duelist Pack Rivals of the Pharaoh is Silent Sword Slash.
Yes.
So,
it's getting some support for the old archetype, really.
yeah, if we have a quick read of Silent Sword Slash, it's
Yeah.
actually...
You can target a Silent Swordsman you control.
insane.
The monster you control gains 1,500 attack and def, so pretty good. And if it does, which most of the time will happen until the end phase, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So
Wow.
Just to be clear, that 1,500 gain is forever.
yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. And also it's a quick play spell card, so you can play it in the damage step if you have to.
And also, it can, if it's until the end of the turn, it's unaffected by a card effect, and this card's activation cannot be negated. And also, you can banish it from your graveyard to search for another Silent Swordsman.
So it replaces itself, it forces an attack through, it prevents your monster from getting destroyed. It can be activated in the damage step That's quite a lot of things.
ridiculous, yeah.
That card is a combo with every Silent Swordsman in your deck.
Yeah, and imagine. So Silent Swordsman goes from 1,000 attack points to 1,500 in your opponent's standby phase.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they then attack into that, that goes straight up to 3,000 attack points.
And it stays there.
And it can't be affected by anything at that point.
So
Wow.
we see here that he used a combo.
Yeah.
He played.
Okay, we're never going to get rid of this.
he played the mass change there, and now Dark Lord's hit the field.
That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's just 2 cards that that are required to pull this off.
Oh, and I believe he actually ended up banishing the Solemn Strike that was in his
Yeah.
hand there as well.
Yeah.
So now it's just the Bumbuku in there.
Master Hero Dark Lord, of course, also kind of kills decks all on its own.
Yeah, I think this is the reason why he's playing this deck in the way it was. This is slightly different. It is slightly different. I played it in a slightly different way. I remember when I first saw these Destiny Hero cards a few months ago, I tried to make this deck kind of work with Dark Law.
Mhm.
I didn't use the Silent Swordsmans, I just used the Destiny Heroes, and yeah, it worked even then, and I never thought to use the Silent Swordsmans. I think this is a really, really good deck.
It's definitely a good idea. I'm kind of curious why he lost round 1 or what happened there, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could find out what he was playing against round 1, do you
Yes.
have that in your app?
That is absolutely possible. I'm gonna get right to that.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are a few hands where maybe you can't summon any warriors to be able to summon Silent Swordsman, things like that. But it's one of those decks that you think it's got a pretty good matchup.
Well, actually, he played Simone Falanga.
Oh wow,
We've
okay.
heard that name before.
Yes, so that's
Very, very experienced Italian player playing Metalfoes this weekend.
yeah.
So
That
he
could
knows
be,
about the matchup, obviously. At least now he knows after that first round.
Yeah.
And Simone Falanga, not a stranger to the top tables.
No,
So not that surprising.
yeah. Generally, those top players it only takes one game, so that first game for you to turn around and say, okay, I know what your strategy is now.
Yeah, or like minor misstep is already enough for them to
Yeah.
find an
take
opening.
advantage,
Yeah, to take an advantage. Right. So Jan Marvin Face, not coming back so far.
Not quite.
It wasn't his turn, right? We were
It's
still in the
still
same turn.
not his turn. No.
Yeah. It's just going on and on.
Basically,
Yeah,
but looking at Patrick's field there, he's got a Solemn Strike, he's got his Silent Sword Dash, he's got Malicious, which Malicious just become the Silent Swordsman there.
This is an insane field.
Yeah.
So he's basically in such a good position.
It's very typical for the mid-game portion of the event.
Yeah.
Game too.
So he's gonna be able to attack there, and then that Silent Swordsman's gonna be able to go up to 2,500 attack points with Silent Sword Slash if he really wants it to.
Yeah.
And I believe
Is he?
he's thinking about it. He is thinking about it.
Okay.
Oh, he's using the one from hand. He actually has 2.
Okay, then you definitely
Wow.
would use it. So you can't play any cards because I played my card, and then that attack's definitely going to go through because it's no longer affected by anything.
I mean, so you would play it in the damage step, right? Just
Yeah.
be like
I
this.
don't
No,
think
you
it
play it
really
in
matters.
response to the attack because then you know it's not going to be. Although you can just
why
play in
why
response
would you
to
not?
anything
Why
that's
would you not have him like activate something? Like, of course he's not going to play Mirror Force, but why would you not check if he has something and then in
use
the
it in
damage step?
response. Yeah,
In
This is
response,
true.
he just loses a card and the card gets negated, basically.
yeah. And there's no possible way for them to get around it because they can't
That's
negate
what I mean,
Silent
yeah.
Sword Slash.
But if you activate it first, they can of course play something.
No, they can't.
And he's
even if you
banished
play
it there.
first. But I think either way is fine. But still,
No,
yeah.
before it resolved, the opponent.
No,
the
you
activation
can't.
can
You
be-
can't
cannot
respond
chain
to it
as well.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
You can't
Um,
respond to it, and it also means that it's
Oh no,
unaffected
sorry,
by-
no. You just can't negate it. But
Yeah.
still, they could play something else.
This card's activation effect cannot be negated, so
Yeah.
they could
Double
chain
Mirror Force,
a
for
Mirror
example.
Force and get
Yeah.
rid of the monster. So it doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
play it first, in my opinion.
Still, Drill Dark, another.
Yeah,
Silent
I'm not
Swordsman.
saying it's not good. Don't get
Yeah,
me
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Like,
No, it's
don't
good.
get me wrong.
Yeah, this here is just crazy. He's got 2 negates. Wow.
Yeah, big.
He's in a really good position.
Yeah. Talk. Yeah. Look at those monsters. Those tiny silent swordsmen. At least when they came out, nobody was playing them because 1,000 attack. What's it gonna do? Goes up to 1/5. Okay, whatever. 1/5. I got a beat stick 1/8. Don't really matter. Now.
This one is actually the new one. They didn't play the old ones because you had to get 3 out, and then it had to become 5, and then you could get out 7. And it was always keeping on the field long enough for them to be able to tribute themselves to get the
Yeah.
next one out.
Right.
This support now just means that as
You
soon
want-
as
you
this
want it to
is
die.
gone,
Yeah.
you get a level 7 out immediately. So it's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah. Actually, me and Matt talked about this, and Matt's a real strong believer of this, and I'm really on his side with this. That there's just so many decks that sometimes just get completely overlooked because players find something and get attached to it. And I've got Matt right now messaging me saying, "Oh my God, Silent Swordsman!
This is
That's
happening."
so awesome!"
So he just negated one of the fusions, I believe.
Yeah, that was full Metalfoes fusion.
Yep. And now he's activating it. I don't know whether he's responding. Oh no, he's just he's
calling
just
it a
saying
day.
no. That's it. Oh wow! So Silent Swordsman just won. That's
Wow. It's just cut through his opponent.
We saw Metalfoes completely destroying the first round. In the second round, they were completely destroyed by Destiny Heroes. Well,
Yeah.
mostly just Silent Swordsman.
There wasn't enough space to put the name that I really wanted.
Let's just say there's something we can talk about in our post-game analysis, guys. Look about the body language.
He's
Oh.
reading Silent Swordsman.
Yeah, he's just reading there. I think they just kind of want to confirm that it's over there.